YouTubers. I'm sorry if my voice is a bit hoarse today, but I've had quite a heavy cold this week. Also stayed home a couple of days, but I'm going back tomorrow. I have watched some interesting videos in the VC vinyl community, and one interesting project that was started by Dr. Deadwax a week ago or so was that he asked us to give him a couple of numbers, and those numbers then represented records from his collection of records that he hadn't listened to, or then my friend Jonas, SublimMedia, celebrated his that he has 500 subscribers by doing it similar style, in which we choose first which section of his expedite shelves, and then which record in that section. And I thought that was quite a fun idea, and I had the great pleasure of watching the first video. I noted that two records from my collection actually turned up in that video of the records that I had picked for Jonas. It was a record by November, their first album, and also Sky 2. So I thought, I also made the nice discovery some days ago that I now have over 400 subscribers myself, which I hadn't expected. Less than a year ago I had around 150 or something like that. So that's very nice. I'm not going to do a competition or contest this time. I have thought about doing a contest sometime, but I have to leave that until later on when I have more time for it. But I thought I'd do this kind of video in which I let you pick numbers, and this is how we shall do it. So this is what I want you to do. I want you first to pick 5 numbers between 1 and 58, and then 5 numbers between 1 and 70. And it doesn't matter if any of the second numbers are the same as the first ones, because the first ones they represent different shelves in my expedite, different sections in my expedite shelves, and the other numbers represent the record, the record number in that shelf. So if I get some answers here, I will try to do a couple of videos in which you have picked the different numbers, but I won't be able to do all of them, or I will try to do all of them. Well, it doesn't matter. Well, that depends on how many answers I get, of course, but I may not be able to do a video every day, but I'll try to do some, because just for fun. As Dr. Deadwax said, as SublimMedia said, it's a fun way to get a closer look on what's in your record collection. So, but I have actually cheated a bit, and I picked exactly the same numbers that I gave Jonas, and just to see what I would pick out. So I'm going to start with my own picks that I made for Jonas, SublimMedia, but the same numbers but on my shelf. First record that I would pick then from these different numbers that I gave to Jonas is actually a record that I think I've showed it 2 or maybe 3 times before. So here we go again. It's Andreas Orflot, Det rivna pianot. Very good progressive music with the multi-talented musician Andreas Orflot, plays the piano, electric piano, church organ, and saxophones. And also we have musicians from the groups Norrbottens Järn and also from Rekyl. And this was issued on the label Manifest. Talked about that before. It's from 1978. This is what the custom label looks like. They have different styles on lots of different labels, and it's an interesting album of great prog music from northern Sweden, and I've listened to this many times during the years, and I bought this copy actually up in Luleå, my former hometown, one time when I went back up, and so this is bought at Café Musica, which is the greatest, well, the only vinyl store up there. But it's very great, and I like the owner, Christer Pettersson, very much. Great fun to speak to. So, the next pick is with, we have a jazz album, and we have the French pianist Jacques Lussier, and we have Playba number 4, volume 4, on Decca. It says Omega here. Somebody has pasted over the Decca label with Omega. They pasted it upside down even. So I'm not sure what that's all about. This is anyway French pressing, and it has this black label with silver printing. Looks like that. This is from 1963. I'm not sure whether it's the first pressing, but it's I'm quite sure it's a pressing from the 60s. It may be the first pressing. I don't know why they have pasted over it with Omega here and also Omega here, because I don't know anything about any record company called Omega. Maybe you do. Anyway, this album contains jazz adaptations of music by Johann Sebastian Bach. This is the 4th album, and this is available on CD too. I think I bought it first on CD, and then I found it on vinyl. I don't remember when or where I found it, but I'm quite sure it was in at some flea market or charity shop here in Stockholm, but I'm not sure. But great jazz by probably the greatest composer ever, Johann Sebastian Bach. Yeah, well, let's continue with the next of my picks, and this is another album, and I'm quite sure that this was bought at the local charity shop maybe a couple of years ago. I actually don't remember when I bought it, but it's the Danish jazz violinist Sven Asmussen and his quintet, Et Musicalis Document, a musical document, and it's on the Fontana special label, and quite boring back sleeve. The label is the blue-gray one. Looks like this. Oh, it's dusty. Fontana Special was, in Sweden at least, from the late 60s, early 70s, a kind of a budget label connected to Philips that reissued lots of Philips material. And I'm actually not sure about I haven't listened to this. I may have to do that. I'm not sure whether this is these are old 78 RPM recordings. Might be, but I don't think so. I think this is these are later recordings, probably made for Philips in the 50s. But I'm not sure. I have to check. I have to listen to it before I can say that. But it's quite a nice photograph. 5 gentlemen in different colors, and Sven Asmussen He's well over 90 years old now, but he's still with us. Knock on wood, at least when I say this. And great musician, great sense of humor, fun guy, and a great violin player, although I don't listen to him all the time. But his cooperation with Ulrik Neumann, and also with our Swedish Alice Babs was very good in the Swedanes group. So this is probably from early 70s, 1971, 72, 73, although the recordings are probably a bit older. It was an interesting pick because I had actually forgot that I had that one. So we'll go to another album, the fourth one, and this is a record that I hadn't forgot that I had because it's one of my favorite albums. It's the Allman Brothers Band, Brothers and Sisters, and this was from I should show you this, from 1972, I think. It was issued and recorded and issued, of course, after Duane Allman, the great guitar player, had passed away in a motorcycle accident. It's on the Capricorn Records label. Yeah, it's from 1973 actually, and maybe not their best album, but they have a very good song on this one. That, well, everybody knows this song, Jessica. Of course, everybody who's ever seen Top Gear knows that song, Jessica, and it's one of my absolute favorite songs. Great, I never grow tired of that one. And that's on this one, Brothers and Sisters by the Allman Brothers Band. I don't have that many records with the Allman Brothers Band. I've got at Fillmore East, of course, and I got this one. But nothing else. I need to get hold of more Allman Brothers because I love them. Okay, the last one that I'm going to show you is with the folk singer Josh White, Good Morning Blues. And this is an issue on the Music for Pleasure label. That was sort of a budget label to EMI. And this record contains recordings that have most likely been released many times before. Oh, it says here, on this album, recorded in 1957. And we have songs like Good Morning Blues, Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child, I Had a Woman, Strange Fruit. And this is, as I said, it's a quite early Music for Pleasure album. Let's see if it has the, which label it has. It has the, yeah, it's not that in best condition, but it has, and it has the ABC Paramount matrix number. I can see it, ABC 166, so that must mean that the material is taken from Paramount. And that's, well, of course, he made records for Paramount back then. So even if the recordings are from 1957, I think the actual album is maybe from the early 60s, but it has this, well, green-blue label that was used for these early MFP, Music for Pleasure albums, before they switched to the more familiar red and black label that was used then after that. So, those are my own picks, or my own picks from Jonas' collection, but I took the same numbers and used them on my collection. So the thing is, again, first you pick 5 numbers between 1 and 58, 58, sorry, and then you pick 5 numbers between 1 and 70. And then I will try to do as many videos as possible about that. This will be interesting. So, happy 400 subscribers to me, And thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing some numbers from you. Bye bye.